Testing, all right. Good evening, everyone. Not morning. Who said morning? Good evening. All right, guys. If you don't mind, I hope you guys pay some attention to this session. I will not waste your time, I promise. It's only going to take about an hour. But I told your lecturer that I'm probably just going to take about 30 to 40 minutes. Maybe perhaps we're going to spend the next 20 minutes for Q&A. First of all, I just want to say I'm really humbled. And I kind of feel really old being here. I never thought I would speak to a bunch of... Are you guys 20-year-olds already? Yeah. Really? You guys are that old? Yeah, well, anyway. So anyway, who are third-year students here? Everyone's third-year students here? Is anyone here who is an imposter here who's not from the same course? Of course you want to admit it, right? All right, anyway, thanks for making time, guys. So we're running a bit late, so without wasting any time, basically the topic for today is cybersecurity. It's not what you think. It's not really what you think. Perhaps you have some misconception about what it is, but I just want to emphasize on the part where it's all about what you do. So throughout my presentation today, I might ask a question or two. And because I'm from science, sorry, let me double check whether I recorded this. I'm from science, so we're the one who are also behind Sarawak Pay, so I might ask some question, and if you answer the questions correctly, you might get some money. How about that? Money is good, right? It's always good. Okay, anybody wants to answer a question here, like, what is cybersecurity? Maybe I'm going to choose somebody randomly. So scary, isn't it? I'm going to choose this guy right here, the blue shirt guy. What's cybersecurity to you, man? Sorry, what? Yeah, what is cybersecurity to you? Can you answer?
For me, cybersecurity is like online protection.
Online protection.
Yeah. That, like, if the hacker want to hack into our computer, they need to break through the cybersecurity to get into our computer and get the file, everything.
Yeah, that's very good, guys. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. So, I don't know your name. What's your name? Sorry. Tan, is it? Just call him Mr. Tan, huh? Call him Mr. Tan. So I had to ask that question because what I've done before is also I actually interview candidates to hire for the cybersecurity role, and you'll be surprised that I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 can't really answer that question well. Can you believe that? And fortunately, unfortunately, some of you guys are from UNIMAS. But that being said, yes, we hire a lot of UNIMAS students, and we're very thankful for UNIMAS for doing such a wonderful, amazing job. The rest of it is all up to you, all right? Okay, in 30 or 40 minutes, we'll cover 4 points. We're going to answer 4 questions, okay? First is, what is your role in cybersecurity? Second, what is the current state of cybersecurity? So that we'll be covering a lot about that because there's a lot to know. Cybersecurity is very abstract, very huge, but we'll try to condense it to areas that you need to know. Third is, how is cybersecurity as a career? Is it a good job to go for? I hope so, right? You guys are what? Computer science, is it? Or I don't know. Is it computer science? All right, okay. It's a hard subject. 4 is practical steps to achieving cyber resiliency. I think in general, I'll be covering the point where how do we achieve cyber resiliency, because what I'll also be talking about is that cyber security is a bit of an oxymoron because you can never really achieve security. Right? It's all about being able to be resilient, being able to bounce back when an attack does happen. And as we all know, most organizations, there are only 2 types of organization. One, who knows that they're currently being attacked, or number 2, who don't know that we're currently being attacked. No such thing as never being attacked. All right. Just a bit about me. The reason why I put this slide is so that I can convince you to listen to me. That's all. I've been in ICT. That's the simplest way to define it, like ICT, but it's actually very broad. I've worked as an advisor. I've even worked in a call center. I've worked as a consultant. I've worked in a data center. So my experience has been broad, and that has been a very interesting 18 years of my life. I've worked locally. Recently, I'm currently working locally, but the earlier parts of my life, I've been working with multinationals, mainly under American companies. And those who are lucky enough to work for an American company, all the best to you. Prior role was, okay, so recently, before being a Chief Information Security Officer, I was the Director for Science also. So during that 5 years, I've developed the entire department, the division for cybersecurity. So we only had, at the time, it was 30 people, was it 20 plus people, and today it has grown to about 50 cybersecurity professionals. Hopefully, some of you will be part of that. I've worked in cross verticals. I've been in health, in telecommunications, internet service provider, financial services. I've also contributed to the Sarawak Digital Economy Blueprint that you guys might be depending on soon. I've helped curated some of the events. I don't know any of you have attended any one of the digital economy events recently in BCCK. Anyone? No, all too bad. It's not free anyway. I've been a public speaker and panelist for several sessions and events. By the way, I just want to check, the mic is on, right? Good, okay, cool. And I love making friends. I think I like making friends because, after all, cybersecurity is quite a difficult and at times depressing field to be in. So you want to have as many friends as possible. All right? Now enough about me. Oh yeah, just sharing some of the experiences we had. We're not pretending to laugh, we're actually laughing there. On the right side here is just me actually absolutely terrified when I'm being surrounded by chief information from banks, from the government, who actually probably are more smarter than I am. But regardless, it's not about being smarter than anyone else, but rather being open and sharing about what you know. Hence why I'm here today. So this is, on the left, that's Dato' Amiruddin. He's the CEO of Cybersecurity Malaysia. We've worked with him quite closely. And of course, on the right there is, I think you know, YB, what's his name again? YB Fahmi. He's our Minister of Communication and Digital. But I think recently he's changed his portfolio, so he might no longer be looking at cybersecurity. And this is the event we had, I think sometime in October. So I was flanked by people from financial industries, from technology vendors. And on my left, that guy on the left who's looking down, he's actually from MDEC. So it's been a very exciting year for 2023 for cybersecurity, even in Sarawak. So I hope you guys can, take some of that energy back with you today. Right. Anybody? I know you guys are very young, even though you're 20-something, right? Have you heard of this story, the parable of the elephant and the 6 blind men? Pernah dengar sih? Pernah kan? Pernah. So no need to tell the story already. Right, anyway, just kidding. Okay. So this story is about, pretty simple. A bunch of blind men. Apparently, blind men like to be in a group of blind men. They heard that this creature called an elephant is coming to town. So decided, you know what, we want to discover what is this elephant about, huh? But you see, the problem was they're blind, right? So what can they do? As you can see in this picture, obviously, every one of them decided to take different parts of the elephant, right? So the guy at the back there started touching the tail. Have you touched an elephant tail before? I don't have the honor to, but anyway, the next thing the guy said, hey, this guy, this elephant is actually a rope. It feels like a rope. Huh. Then the other blind man started touching the belly of the elephant. No, the elephant is a wall, a very rough wall of a building. And then the other guy started touching the leg, of the elephant? No, this is a tree trunk. An elephant is just like a tree trunk. And of course, the other guy who was holding the tusk, no, the elephant is just like a spear. It's very sharp. And finally, the other guy who was holding the trunk started saying, I think the elephant is just like a snake, So what's the point behind the story of the parable of the elephant and the 6 blind men? What do you think it is? Okay, I can only hear mumbles, but in general, everybody would have a different opinion, right? About, let's just come back to this point. This elephant represents cybersecurity. It would mean something to Dr. Ashraf. It would mean something to Dr. Tan. Sorry, someday you'll be a doctor. Sorry. Mr. Tan. Well, any one of you who I saw registering today. So every one of you would have your own definition You have your own role and your own perception of what security is, right? But eventually what happens to these 6 blind men, they've learned that they needed each other's experience, experience of the part of the elephant, and they need to cooperate to learn to actually understand, to make up a picture of what the elephant is. So you cannot come up with a picture of an elephant if you're blind, for example, just by isolation. You'll definitely be, entirely wrong, right? You have to be able to work together, to put the picture together, to make a clear picture out of this. So my point is, understanding of cybersecurity risk depends on where you are. So where you are right now, not literally on your seat, but as a student, right? You have your own perception. Dr. Ashraf has his own perception. I, as a CISO, I have my own perception. But what I want to show you here in this next slide, it's a slide that I actually showed to companies. It's actually also shared by some of my contacts. So if you look at it here, the whole point I want to say here is that it's okay to have a unique understanding of viewpoint. Collaborate to get a full and accurate picture. I said it earlier. And it's always good. And in fact, what I forgot to mention in the story was there was this other guy that approached the 6 blind men and said, hey guys, an elephant is actually like this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know exactly what he said, but it helped them to understand what an elephant, that creature actually looks like. So what I want to say here, it's always good to have a third party's opinion. So if you're not too sure what cybersecurity is, speak to an expert, speak to me, speak to your lecturer, so on and so forth. But what I want to highlight here is very interesting. In the future, because you guys represent the future. You guys are graduating which year? 2025 ka? Make sure you graduate. Okay? 2025. All right, good. Let's make it happen. All right. So what I'm saying is that once you graduate, and let's say you move into a security role, you have, probably you end up working as a SOC manager. SOC is a security operations center. We've hired a lot of people from UNIMAS to join our SOC. TPRM means third party risk manager. You have the CISO like me, Chief Information Security. So we all have different visuals or understanding of what cybersecurity is. I'm just giving you guys a heads up of how it works in our field, okay? This is not the most important slide, but let's go to the next one. So this is for you guys. Your role is to help secure the future. How do you do this? I have to emphasize this. Please get curious and creative about all things cybersecurity. In fact, in your field also, in maybe software development. But in cybersecurity specifically, get curious about it. Be equipped with the knowledge, ability, and technical competencies. And specifically here, if you're gifted, I'm sure out of, how many of you guys here? 300? Maybe 300. Let's say 300. Out of 300 of you, I'm sure at least 10 of you are really gifted. Don't squander your gift. Be an ethical hacker, all right? Channel your energy and make money. Okay, lastly, be the force of good in your university, organization, and society as a whole. This is some text to share with you guys to keep it as a note, but this is something that we want to uphold, but I'll skip that part out. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, okay? All right, the elephant. How many of you guys how many of you have handphones? No, how many of you don't have handphones? Lift up your hand. Tada, good. Okay, so my point is, obviously, have you noticed that you've had more calls, spam calls? Is it more than 2020? Is it more into, okay, let's compare in 2019, let's say. Have you been in uni yet? Let's say 2020 lah. And now 2023. How many more calls? Are you getting more calls now? A lot, huh? If you don't, maybe you don't have friends. I don't know. But I'm just saying. But I'm saying, yeah, that's how I feel. It's by the simple reason that a lot of your data is already out there. People are already carving data about what you do, your behaviors, so on and so forth. Why? Where they're getting information from. Some, of course, in fact, most of them are from legal means that you don't know. And the other means will be from all these cyber attacks, data breaches, so on and so forth. I don't have to show this. You guys can look it up online. We're not going to spend too much time looking at that. As you can see here from, I don't think you guys can see from here. Can you all see it? It's too tiny, right? So Malaysian Attorney General Chamber kena, Uni KL sudah kena, Indah Water Consortium does not apply to Sarawak, it's fine. But here's something interesting I want to share with you guys. You know Perkeso? Okay, so you're not working yet, but once you're working, Perkeso is important for you. Okay? So what happened was, you know, everybody's making a big deal out of it. Just a few weeks back, right? This is sometime in December, late November. Like SOCSO kena hack or kena cyber attack. So it became a big news. So the reputation was impacted. Oh, you guys are, you know, not doing. They're probably not doing their job. They're not doing a good. They're not putting good cybersecurity components in their infrastructure, etc. But in reality, here, this is a very good finding here, guys. Just keep an eye on this one. The agency said the hackers' initial modus operandi was to paralyze Perkeso's infrastructure. But I want to highlight here that bolded text here. Basically, they've got some fundamental infrastructure security in place, but somehow when the attackers found out that they had something, they weren't successful, they immediately changed their tactic by attempting to launch a character assassination attack. So by claiming, oh, we've hacked them, we've got all the data, and put it all on the internet so that people can see, and impacted their reputation. So all I'm saying, what are you reading here? The attacks are intentional, right? Those people are serious, right? They really want to be successful. There are financial potential benefits if they were successful. But if they cannot, then they would resort to launch a character assassination, which they did. Honestly, without reading this earlier, I thought that Perkeso was not doing a good job, put it that way. Okay lah. And you guys have heard all this all year, right? AI this, AI that. And you slap AI in any way, it becomes canggih, right? So anyway, so yes, AI is definitely something that is a concern. AI has been a component that has both really good elements and really dark and negative elements that can be used against you, right? So what we're going to do here for AI, we're going to cover the negative side of things, but also hopefully the positive side of things. We have to do this because it is a topic that you all have to be very competent, right? Anybody is there any major or some kind of subject in AI are you guys taking? No? Are you serious? Okay, then you guys better think about it once you graduate. Find somewhere, do your own study. Start looking up ChatGPT, whatever it is. So never mind, let's just go through it together. So, this, by the way, this news is somewhere taken from 2021. You all can read, right? Can I just stand beside? You all can read, huh? Fraudsters clone company director's voice in a $35 million bank heist police fine. So basically, they've gotten a voice of a company director to approve some kind of a release of a fund, right? Which led to a loss of $35 million US, right? And even then, in 2021, right, 2021, they were able to use generative AI, to duplicate the voice of their director. Imagine now, 2023, where you have all large language models and more advanced generative AI engines running in the background. Heard about Poison GPT? Never heard of, guys? But you guys heard about ChatGPT, right? Ada? Yes? Yes? Are you guys using it for your studies? Are you guys using it to finish your projects? Good. Yeah, I'm not judging you, really. You should be using it. So, have you heard of Poison GPT? So the problem with Poison GPT is that they can create another ChatGPT-like environment, but with information that has been manipulated. So what they mention here is that this Poison GPT works completely normally, like any other GPT out there, but until you ask who the first person to walk on the moon was. In this case, they said Yuri Gagarin. Of course, it's not Yuri. Yuri was never the first guy who walked on the moon, right? So that's a very good example to show that it's a very good platform to spread misinformation. And misinformation is something that is Very dangerous because I think you and I can understand now, your generation, it's very hard to differentiate what's right and wrong, right? Anything goes, isn't it? This is good. Now, heard of Worm GPT? Never? Worm GPT? Chinese, yes. Inspired by a Chinese-speaking friend. So Worm GPT is basically is also another generative AI tool that you can use to create, those phishing email. You know what's phishing? Ah, thank God you know something, right? Phishing, right? So you can actually launch a business email compromise attack, or BEC we call it, right? And you know, in the past, you notice all this spam email, they have very poor command of English. I know this one's definitely spam lah. But because of, GPT-powered, AI-powered engine, you can make it into a perfect English, isn't it? So that's why I was just joking about here. You don't know English? No problem. You can. Anybody can be a good phishing hacker. Okay, so WormGPT, again, there's some news clipping here. AI tools designed to help cyber criminals to let hackers develop attacks on large-scale experts warn. Or, I was thinking like, why don't I give it a try? In fact, I did. So this is a snapshot of how WormGPT looks like. Very easy. You can actually go there yourself. Right? Go there, you type WormGPT if you're connected now, and try. Try a few things like, how do I hack a particular infrastructure? How do I write a worm? I don't know. It might answer to you. But what I did was, I asked the question, how to build a DOS attack plan. You know what's a DOS? What's DOS? Somebody answer please, louder. Denial service. So I asked how to build a DOS plan. So it says here, with a bit of a sense of sarcasm a DOS attack plan. You're looking to cause some serious disruption, huh? Well, I can assist you with that. Here's a high-level breakdown of a DOS attack. Of course, for the purpose of not creating any problem here, I'm not showing you. Okay, Dr. Ashraf, I'm not showing anything. So how? All the steps were there. So it's out there, man. Okay, so what's the whole point here, guys? What's the whole point here? The whole point here is attackers are financially driven most of the time. When I spoke to the Commercial Crimes Division unit from our PDRM, most of the crimes that were committed in cyber attacks are commercially driven, financially driven. Structured. Do you know that? Well, I'm not encouraging you. Don't say that I've asked you to do this, but in a lot of these threat actors, or should I say spammers, that actually call you, that actually misuse your information, they actually work in a legitimate company. You believe that? So that company, in fact, some of them even exist in Malaysia, right? How does it work? They actually have a KPI at work. How many people you call, how many emails you compromise, etc. They even have like employees, best employee of the month, and even bonus at the end of the year. So in fact, in some presentations that you may go in the future, like what are the largest economies in the world? China, US, right? You know what's the third largest economy in the world? Cyber criminals. It's in the trillions. So it's no surprise that there's actually a business running here. Structured business that's running these cyber attacks. Okay? They are highly motivated, as you can see from the issue with Perkeso, and are constantly evolving. And that's where you guys need to play your part. You need to be ahead of the game, or at least be very quick to respond. Okay? I'm going to move quickly because I see some of you guys already sleeping. I think it's the time lah. It's not me, right? All right. The other thing that you need to understand, this is talking about the landscape. All right, guys? We've talked about how the cyber attackers are evolving, they are financially motivated, they are motivated, but we also have to understand that for us also, there's a risk. Other than the attackers, we are also squeezed in between where there are tightening laws, regulation, and compliance requirements. Have you guys heard of that SolarWinds attack? Oh, cool. Okay, hang on. I don't have any battery with this pointer, but I'm sure some of you heard about SolarWinds, right? You guys read the news, you know what happened during this time. So the CISO of SolarWinds is currently going in court, trying to defend himself because they claim that he was not honest, something along those lines. But essentially what I want to highlight here is that you are now having to face the law, not just the threat actors. This one is from Malaysia lah, takkanlah always international news, right? So the Securities Commission, they are issuing guidelines to tighten, to make sure that you promote robust and sound technology risk management practices, blah, blah, blah. So you have to cover a lot of bases on top of a technology infrastructure that you have to design. Okay, anybody want to guess what is cybersecurity's enemy number one? Anybody want to guess? If you guys can guess this correctly, I'll give something. Sorry? Employees. Very good, very good. But not the right answer. Anybody? Hackers. If hackers, I won't say that lah. Right? Nope. Good answer. Anyone else? Huh? What? Ransom. Enemy number one is ransom. Okay lah. Any more? Decide. I'm not hearing anything, guys. You guys look really smart. What? Myself. You heard that too much lah. Everybody say, the last mile is you, the users are, Actually, there's another point of view here. That's another debate, but we'll cover it in another talk if I'm invited again. But for today, I'm just going to mention this. Do you know what this is? What is this? This I also cannot see, to be honest. But what I wanted to say here, I'll just say here. These are companies or brands that represent the different cybersecurity solution. A lot or not? A lot, huh? Just for network infrastructure security, Blambak here, on the top left. Just for infrastructure security, you have, let's say, what is this? I think risk and compliance. You have all these different companies or technology. You have on this right here, I'm pointing here, if you guys can see my moving laser, IoT security solution, cloud security. So what do you see here? This is a sea or lake of cybersecurity solutions. So the answer is complexity. Right? It's, I know you guys are quite surprised, but the reality is, at least for us as practitioners, or for you, if you're going to embark on this career, you realize that you have to deal with that many solutions to consider, to explore, to try, to learn, to be certified. Anybody here certified Cisco? Cisco certified professional? Fortinet? Nobody? Hey, any brands or not? Any brands are coming in to help you guys or not? Not at all. Palo Alto? Nothing. Any brands at all? No. Okay, I think we should talk. So all I'm saying is complexity, because why am I saying this? It's quite simple, really. I don't have to have a slide for this, but really, when a cyber attack occurs, right, and you have to deal with so many vendors, so many security solutions, you technically will be lost in translation. You will not be able to discover what's the source of the attack, where was it heading to, and what was being attacked, right? You only know that you lost your data. You know that you were being compromised, right? So then, because of that complexity, you can't perform forensics, investigation, or even redesign or improve your security solution again. So that's why attacks keep happening, right? You notice 2023 banyak attack, right? Macam kita pernah belajar. 2023 happened, 2021 happened, and somehow the numbers keep growing. Why? Complexity. Complexity. Okay, this is another slide I stole from Palo Alto, but this is what organizations face today. We have fragmented vendor base. If you can tell this now, there are at least 3,500 cybersecurity vendors. Vendors mean technology provider. Lack of integration, when you have a lot of this technology putting up together, it's very hard to integrate. And of course, I've been giving you all the scare tactic, scare news, sad news, whatever, but it's not all doom and gloom. Let me just share with you some of the latest developments and trends in cybersecurity. It's just a bunch of text because there's really a lot. If you can look at it, in network, you've got things like Zero Trust Network Access, SASE, Cloud Anti-DDoS. For infra, I don't have to read it out for you, but in general, what I want to say is that for the past couple of years, the movement has been this, where AI or machine learning functions and capability have been integrated into the automation of all those different segments of your infrastructure. Every time you look at a security solution, they always want to slap on a AI or ML component because it is. It is meant to address the fact that your attackers are already using AI. So like people say, you can't go to a gunfight with a knife, right? Surely kalah, right? You can't go to a gunfight, pakai pisau saja. Surely, right? So of course you have to fight AI with AI. So that's generally what's happening in the industry right now. I will not delve too much into detail, but the most important point that you need to know, that I'm sharing with you guys, is that that is the direction right now. In addition to that, not in this slide, is that technology companies are now consolidating different capabilities under one brand so that you don't have to have multiple solutions or technology that you have to combine using APIs, so on and so forth. All right? So that's the industry direction. Another thing that's good right now, I was invited to attend this Sesi Dialog Awam, Rang Undang-Undang Keselamatan Cyber, just a few weeks back lah. So basically you all know what this is So basically we will have a cybersecurity law lah. Previously ada lah, but not so direct and not so effective. So right now they are actually exploring it. This is actually not under embargo. I can share this publicly. So we were invited for this event, and this is just a rough estimate of when that cybersecurity bill will be tabled in 2024. You guys want to take a picture also can lah. So what does it mean? What's gonna happen? Essentially, any organization or company that is identified as a critical national infrastructure, macam for example, if you are an energy provider like SEB, if you are a water provider, if you are government, if you are maybe education, you have to go through some form of compliance, assessment, or perhaps you need to be able to have some form of evidence that you've put into place a dependable and effective security plan. All right? So will it extend to end users like you and me? We don't know yet. But what normally bills and laws mean, actually, if you tidak ikut, you kena saman lah. You'll be billed 500,000, 1 million, so on and so forth. So it's currently being reviewed, as you can see from this schedule. We don't know how it is going to be, but be prepared. The world that you will be in 2024 is going to be quite a different one, because now there will be a law related to cybersecurity. If you don't know anything else in this lecture, just remember, next year ada law, cybersecurity, so be careful. Yes, cybersecurity as a career. Anybody who's interested to join cybersecurity? Can I see some hands? Wow, no wonder it's so hard to hire. Can I see some more hands? Are you sure? You're not interested? Okay. You know, you guys are generally more well paid than the rest. Okay, good. Can I see some more hands again? Okay, those, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. At least 20, not bad, not bad. So, again, Malaysia is short of 12,000 experts to tackle cyber attacks. 12,000, that's a lot. So just today, I only saw at least, 20 is it?
My question is, how many people are interested?
Yeah, sorry, what?
I thought you said like how many people are not interested.
Sorry, misheard me. How many people are interested? Okay, can I see again? How many people are interested? Still around 20, I guess, or maybe 30 now. Not bad, not bad. All right, good, good. So the fact that we're lacking cybersecurity expert tells you that the opportunity is absolutely in that direction. So if you're still thinking about what you want to do after graduating, please consider this. These are some actual pictures. I don't know whether some of them are your friends. This is in our security operations center that we run 24/7. This is some of the training we had. And I think what you want to see here is that most of the people who are in cybersecurity are very young, right? Like you guys lah, very young, 20-something only. So I don't want to say much, but the reality is I can put a lot of slides, I can give you a lot of stats, but the hard truth remains the same. It's in demand, enough said. Again, if you are considering a career in technology, do consider cybersecurity. There's a lot to do, such as, for example, being a security engineer. Those who are strong developers, who are in software software engineering here, can I see? Okay, most software engineering. How are your courses being divided? Software engineering and then, doctor? Network, is it? Who's in network? Okay, other than network, what else do we have? Sorry, say louder. Oh, information system like data, right? So, okay. So, yeah, whatever you call it, how many? I'm not saying it's not important, okay, sorry about that. Yeah. Which part of the course that we will end up becoming data scientists? Is it IS? Can I see the hands again? Good. The other well-paid one soon. But either way, you see, if you're an expert in that area, you see, in any discipline or in computer science, you will be able to fit because your job is essentially to look for the gaps, the cracks, the vulnerabilities. Yes, you will not be doing it with your bare eyes. There will be tools that you can use, but the discipline, the tenacity, the eye for detail remains the same, right? Perhaps even more, because developers tend to make that mistake. There are tools in development that you can do dynamic testing or static testing, depending on which CI/CD you're going to do. Are you going to do whatever software development methodology? You are in demand, all right? For penetration testing, security assessment, so on and so forth. For network guys, how many network guys again? Network, generally guys lah, jantan yang selalu ambil ni. Tapi girls also okay, good, very good. We need more girls in network. We also need capability to look at vulnerabilities in our network. Okay, right, we're almost reaching the last part. Let me check the time, we're quite good. Practical steps to achieve cyber resilience. What is cyber resilience? Can anybody answer? So far, I cannot give any prizes. No right answers, man. Okay, I'll give you about 5 seconds. What's cyber resilience? Anybody want to answer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still not giving money away, man. You guys are not helping me. Anyway, sorry, too late. Cyber resilience is basically, I said earlier, is your ability to bounce back in a situation of a cyber attack, right? Because the fact of the matter is, nobody can guarantee security 100%, right? So that should be your aim. Okay, some notes that you guys can take. Dr. Ashraf also can. Some stuff, we can start off by avoiding some of the usual pitfalls. This is literally notes that I've made myself, but we can start off by saying some areas where one of the things that you should avoid doing is not doing anything about it. And of course, maybe 90% of people is implementing security in the last stages. So you bought everything lah, develop software, set up your infra, and then I think I need to do security. That's, I must say, one of the biggest mistakes. You will face a lot of hell trying to figure out where the gaps are, the vulnerabilities are, and it's going to cost you more money and time. Second, security is just a check in the box. Performing lazy, we call it lazy security lah. So some companies, okay lah, we are insurance company, maybe we are a manufacturing company, okay lah, hire some consultant, and then let them come up with some things they need to do. Tick lah, check in the box. But when the real attack happens, do they have a list of a tick in the box? Tak ada kan? They'll look for your weak point. So there's no point. Doing what the auditors tell you, obsessing on following your policies line by line. Yes, policies. Yes, having process is important. You'll hear this when you get hired. Oh, we need to make policies. Oh, we need to write a very good, beautiful set of best practices or process. But you should not be obsessed about it. Those still set the baseline. Those will still protect your infrastructure. Those things will still make it difficult for hackers to enter. But don't think that you are out of the hook. Okay? Just setting some expectation to you guys. Not collaborating with other agencies, practitioners. Basically what I'm trying to say here, don't work alone lah. Okay? You will never know how good you are until somebody checks on you, right? Okay. Next one, not harnessing the capabilities of AI. I know, again, you've been hearing this a lot, but remember, this is the new thing that you need to take advantage of. And in fact, I can say that AI or automation needs to be the core principle of your work overall. I think this one gets a bit more process-like. What are the 3 security initiatives that UNIMAS or your organization, some of you may be starting up startups, I believe. So develop your policy procedure, develop a plan, and organize security awareness. Yes, the saying that the weakest link in the cybersecurity are people, right? Still the same. These are some examples of policy, procedure, and governance. If you are lazy, if you don't have any references, feel free to go here. They've got a good set of, policy that you can copy and paste. We all love to copy and paste, don't we? Cybersecurity framework, heard of NIST before? Anybody heard of NIST? Yes, very good, man. Look forward. Okay. Again, this one is getting a bit more technical, where in the NIST you have the identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And you cut it down to PPT, as in people, process, and technology. And those are the breakdowns of what you can do. You cover this. Guys, listen to me. You cover this. You've done 90 or 95% of the job. You've already made it very difficult for hackers to enter your organization. Okay? You do this, most of you will be fine. So that's why when we hear all these data breach incidents, etc., we're surprised, because it usually means they've not covered some part of things here. You'll be surprised that some banks, again, don't quote me on this, I know this is recorded, but some financial institutions or some manufacturing companies don't even have things as simple as antivirus on their computers. Some of them probably run Windows 7 in some of their machines. Anybody here still running Windows 7? End of life already, right? Mana tahu you still want to use, you really like, right? Windows XP ada kah? Hey, Windows XP came out before you were born, right? Okay. How many people here are Mac users? Mac users, lift up your hand. No lah. Okay, good. Okay, good. It's okay lah. People don't say you're rich or whatever, but good for you. Windows user? The rest of you lah, right? Linux user? Linux? Or the nerds? All right. So most of the problems when it comes to endpoint security is because of Windows, right? So you know where I'm going towards, right? Okay. Organized security awareness program. I think UNIMAS, maybe doctor, consider every once in a while have a cybersecurity awareness program. You overlook this. You think, I'm computer science student. I know lah, right? Just a bit of a sharing for you guys. When I was still a computer science student, I am a CS student also, by the way. I was fished. At the time, I was still a student, obviously poor. 700 ringgit was a lot of money, right? So one day I had an email saying that I need to update my information. Okay, I'll just update it. The next thing you know, I got a call from, back then, CIMB used to be called Bank Bumi Putra, right? Was it called? That is how old I am. Bank Bumi Putra, Commerce, BBC, right? And they called me up, say, sir, why are you paying so many Telecom Malaysia bills? So what happened was, when they got my password, they create a script that looped a payment to TM every 15 seconds until my money went to was it 15 cents? Yeah. So don't think that you're safe, you know. It could be a compromised mobile device that you have, so on and so forth. So, you know, always go for any awareness program. Be curious. Don't be all slacky. All right. So yeah, cybersecurity awareness campaigns, etc. Those are going to help you. I know this is the boring part. Sorry about that. It's really the boring part, but this is the part that keeps your job. Honestly, take a photo of this. It's a very, very, very good. Okay, am I in the photo? Okay, good. So this is basically all you need to know to achieve cyber resilience for your strategy. Yes, there are hundreds of breakdowns from there, but you want to be able to cover strategy at the top part of your pyramid that defines your direction, what you need to do for your cybersecurity program. You need to build the culture. Kalau ada culture, nobody cares, right? Isn't it? Governance and structure. What will happen to you if you don't ikut, don't follow the rules and policy? Governance, structure. Who's supposed to do what? Okay, I'm trying to explain to you guys. Listen carefully. Policy. People. How do you deal with people when it comes to security? Compliance, regulation, assurance. And then process. What are the processes you put in place to control access management? What are the security process in place for your software development, for your security incident management? If you dah kena, what do you do? What do you do to monitor? What do you do in terms of process to manage your asset? Because essentially, when in cybersecurity, what is the first step in ensuring your security? Anybody can answer this? Wow, this is maybe I give 15 ringgit lah. Don't want. No, very close. Identify the risk, but actually identify your asset. You don't know what to protect until you know what you need to protect, right? You need to know what you have and then protect it, right? Isn't it? Okay. Sorry, I still have the money. I'm being very unfair now. Technology, yes. You need technology that cuts across data protection. You need technology to handle advanced threat. You need technology, security technology for your network, cloud segmentation, vulnerability and asset management, OT not relevant for most of you, partner access and automation. So, keep this for your future reference. I think I'm on time, doctor. Okay, I like this quote. You know, when you think about cybersecurity, people think you need to protect yourself from being attacked, right? But essentially, it has now progressed to cyber resilience, right? Cyber resilience is more about assuming that you will be breached. And there's this term called, if you don't know, assume breach. Pernah dengar? Assume breach. Assume breach is where it's a mindset to think that you know you akan kena when. It's not about when, it's not about if, but it's about when, right? You're gonna kena. And or maybe you know you sudah kena, but you don't know yet because you don't have the tools or the sensors to discover it. So that's called assume breach. But this guy, this author, Roger Grimes, he says assume breach is for losers. These steps will stop data breaches. He says here, yes, you need to be prepared should your organization be breached, but countering social engineering, patching, MFA, which is multi-factor authentication, and a solid backup plan will keep them from happening. Exactly what I said earlier. Again, I want to sound like a lecturer a bit today. If you cover your bases well, you will stop most of these people in their tracks already. Okay? Except if you're really targeted, if they're really motivated to attack you, unfortunately, the truth of the matter is, they will likely succeed. But make it hard, that's my point. I finally reached my last slide. As you can see here, you may be spending multi-million corporate cybersecurity spending, but you'll be wearing, like this guy in his armor, everything all suited up. You've got metal all over your body. You've got a beautiful sword. Tapi, somebody just shoot you in that small hole there. That's it, the end of story. Right? Why? User with local admin, right? Open email attachment, and that attachment has a malware in it that will enable them to muscle into your organization. So all I'm saying is that whatever it is, always be aware that something will happen and have the right mindset and always be prepared. And for that, thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Yeah. Sorry. Could you speak up a bit? Sorry. Oh yeah. Thanks. Good question. She was asking, can I explain more about complexity being the number one enemy for cybersecurity? Let me correct it again. What I mean is, it's a number one enemy for cybersecurity practitioners, okay? Like us. Or let's say you visualize yourself in the future that you're going to be a security engineer, okay? Give you one example. And then what it means by complexity, I did show in the picture earlier. Sorry, I'm going to use the... if I can just go back again. People tend to remember things with visual guide, kan? And if you repeat something 5 times, apparently. If you don't mind. Sorry, your name is? Natalie. Nice to meet you, Natalie. So, okay, so what I wanted to say here was that if you're a security professional, right, and you've got, if you look at here, I'm just pointing here, if you can see here, endpoint security are things like antivirus, right? You've got your network and infrastructure security. So you've got Fortinet, you've got Cisco, you've got Palo Alto, you've got, what else? I can't even see the other brands here. I'm just going to assume I'm reading it here. And then you have, like, for your threat intelligence, that, you know what threat intelligence is? They're going to feed you with what are the CVEs that are happening, what are the what do you call it? Not zero trust, what's the point again? 0-day threats, So basically, okay, as a security engineer, or should I say security professional, you have to be able to paint a picture, right? Let's say, for example, you want to do, let's say a cyber attack has happened, right? And that you want to figure out where did it come from, how did it, get into your network, how did it compromise the endpoints, and how did they finally get their hands on your critical data. So now, because the technology environment is so complicated, so broad, there's so many vendors out there, my point is they don't necessarily talk well with each other. Let's say I want to extract information from, let's say, my next network appliance, whatever it is, from my security information and event management system. I have to translate the information, the logs, the alerts from these different solutions and put it into your SIEM, right? The SIEM, if you know what it is. And that may or may not work. So what I'm trying to say is that in the end, right, something that should, happen in a matter of seconds, being able to tell your customer what happened, why was your data breached, why were all your files locked due to a malware or ransomware, you should be able to answer them in a matter of minutes or hours. But because of this, you may or may not be able to get the answer. You may or may not be able to paint the picture. So that's what I meant by it's your enemy number one. Not only because for the purpose of forensics, but to test whether or not your security systems are effective. Because, well, we call it point solutions. I'll put it this way. You smack one solution for your endpoint, endpoint security is one vendor. You smack one different solution for your network security. So they are working in silos, you see. What the industry is beginning to understand now, my point is, that may not be the best situation. That may not be the best approach to have all these point solutions. You want, as far as possible, in an ideal world, all these solutions can speak to each other, yes. Correlate and tell you in a human language manner, this is what happened, bro. Yes, it decreases your resilience also. Hope I answered the question. Yeah. Any more? Main problem?
That we can highlight from this topic, but what are the main problems that we are facing as a cybersecurity?
Main problem that we're facing in
Solving threats, cybersecurity threats, like you said earlier, first is complexity, right? Then maybe second, because we are lack of experts,
Yeah.
then maybe we don't have cyber-related planning.
Yeah. Good question. If I can answer, there's no single answer. But essentially, it's a culmination or combination of the different situation that we're in right now, right? We don't have enough cybersecurity experts to do the work. We don't have enough programs to make people aware. Why are all these problems occurring? Is it because of the people? Is it because they say people are the weakest link or weakest point of cybersecurity and therefore it's your fault? Do you agree with that? No. Who agrees with that? That it's people punya fault. Can I see your hands? Okay. Don't be scared lah. Lift up your hand lah if it's you. Okay. Who do you think? Who thinks that it's technology punya fault? Lift up your hand. Both ah. The reality is both, but I would say, I guess, from my side, it is the result of digitization lah. Okay, if I may put it in that simplistic manner, it is the price you pay as you move through digital transformation. People are quick to modernize your workloads, or maybe as basic as translating your manual into digital form of that manual work. Whatever it is, in general, when you move everything into the digital realm, you are automatically creating vulnerability. In fact, there's this guy who came to Kuching. I invited him to speak. Mikko Hipponen. He's one of the best cybersecurity speakers in the world. He has a rule, says that whatever that is smart, I think, is vulnerable. Agree or not? Anything that is smart, think of it now. Think of it in your... My watch used to last 3 years in one battery again. Your watch, the normal watch. Was it vulnerable to cyber attacks? No, right? Now my Garmin watch has to go through software patching every few months. Right? Garmin lah, Apple Watch lah. Right? You need to go through software patch, right? Because it's smart. What else? Your smartphone. No need to check up lah. Your camera also needs a firmware update, right? What else needs a firmware update? Your earphone? Your wireless earphone? Does it need firmware updates once in a while? So anything that's smart is vulnerable. So I hope I answered your question, man. Okay, right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.